these are our own inner values. They're not our behaviors. So I figured that we could just start off by each one of us giving our own values, and then we pick our top 3 at the end to help us finish the rest of it. So mine is being dependable. And when you're dependable, you're attending most of the meetings, and you are also getting the sections that are assigned to you done during the due dates that you as a group decided on. So that's mine. Kelly?
So mine, as you can see, it's already written there because we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it was open to all ideas, being able to compromise, and listening to everyone.
All right. Lena?
I said that being cohesive or having cohesiveness amongst the group was really important, learning to be flexible, not only just be learning from each other's ideas, but flexible in our physical schedules.
And then Jordan?
I said like each individually feeling like satisfied with the work to like better the group.
Mm-hmm. All right, Becca? Mm-hmm. All right, and Ruby?
I said everything you guys said, but I think that being lighthearted is really important because things can get really stressful at times, but we need to know when to just cool off and so we don't burst with anxiety.
I like that one. All right, Melanie?
So I said being transparent was important, just to have open and honest communication about what you're able to do or not able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Honest communication.
All right, and Danielle?
So I said being a team player, so everybody's kind of contributing and helping out when everybody needs it, or when anybody needs it, I guess.
Yeah. And I feel like we've done that a lot, especially with the bigger parts where some of us, we needed the extra help. And as soon as somebody said they needed the help, then everybody jumped in on that. So that's good.
Yeah, I feel like we do really well with that.
All right, so let's pick our top 3 then, values. What are we thinking are super important to us as a group?
Kind of all go like hand in hand.
Yeah.
I really like Kelly's. I think that's really important.
I like melody. I think communication is a really, really big important thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that way you don't get too stressed out and then it ends up kind of turning into what your work turns out to be. I agree. All right, so we're saying that open to all ideas and compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Ruby's lighthearted. And then Melody being transparent. All right.
What do you choose? Okay.
So we'll move on to the third quadrant. And in this quadrant, we're thinking about things, what our thoughts are and our feelings are, if, and then how those would get in the way of our values. So instead of taking turns, we can all just kind of talk about how we would feel, how a certain feeling would come up and then get in our way.
So something that I was kind of thinking is like, I get that feeling sometimes like, what if I don't do this right? What if I complete like my whole portion incorrectly and then have to redo the whole thing, or something that I feel like goes through my head a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a hard time when I want to ask a question, but I don't want to come off as dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that going along with like doing the section right is like I don't want to sound stupid if I do it wrong.
Right.
And
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's like I want to do my section and like do it good enough where there's not going to be any feedback. But that's the point of this.
Yeah.
But then that kind of turns in with our being honest and for everybody to give their own honest feedback on how
Mm-hmm.
to improve. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, right. And And even with that, like during our group meetings, I worry if we don't have enough time and that the whole talking over each other, of course, not meaning to because we have such a big group. But I just worry that maybe somebody else didn't get their point across and I don't want them to feel like they're left out or not being heard.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a
I
good
feel
one.
I feel like every group, like people take on certain roles, whether like they were given those roles or not. So I feel like if I'm in a group and I end up like taking on a leadership role, I always wonder, like, is my leadership style effective? Am I good enough leader? Have I made somebody mad?
Mm-hmm.
Or have I stepped outside like the boundaries?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So what are our emotions tied to this too? Like, is it like nervousness? I guess would be
I
one
put
of
a
them.
anxiety.
Yeah, it seems more of like fear emotions. So like
Mine would be like anxiety,
anxiety,
self-doubt.
nervous.
I can't. I'm starting to not hear you guys. Anxiety. That's all I heard.
Yeah,
Nervous.
nervous. Um,
Fear.
Insecure.
yeah, especially with the comments of not feeling like you know enough or whatnot. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. I don't think there's any real frustration behind this, right?
Frustration.
No, it's
Oh, not frustration.
no, not frustration. I'm sorry. I was just like kind of thinking out loud. Like, do you guys think there's frustration behind it, or I think it's more of just like the fear and of worrying what other people are thinking, which is a common human thing to have. All right. So I think that part's good. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to it?
No, I like that.
Okay.
I
So
think
now
we're
we're gonna
good.
go. What was that?
I said no. I think we're good.
Oh, okay. So now we're gonna go up to the top right, and for this section, these are behaviors that we are doing when we have these thoughts and feelings that we just described, and how other team members or people outside of our team might see us doing that as a team. So looking back
Can I
at,
ask a question?
what was that?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
This is how we think we're being perceived. Is that the correct? Am I under the right understanding?
So let me just reread the directions. So these are the actual behaviors that you do when you are having the thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like,
Behavior.
yeah,
So like
so the
something
actual
that I
behaviors
put
of
for
it.
this, something I put for this was like asking our group members if we need help. So like reaching out, which I feel like our group does really well with.
Yeah.
Or like
Even just like asking that question of like, what do you think? Or do you need help with something? Just checking in.
yeah.
Asking questions. Other behaviors. Let's see.
Are you talking about the formatting of this right now? This, so this thing is going nuts.
Yeah,
We'll fix it,
it's
but
okay. You can fix it at the end.
I'll fix it at the end. It's just not doing what I want it to do. Every move I make, it's like changing up.
Yeah, I was definitely doing a lot of changes when I was making this thing because it was going all over the place.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
I think a behavior, I don't know what's the right way to word it, but the behavior would be like being prepared, how we're always like trying to make sure everything is formatted, the outline, we're highlighting sections, we're just like the general like preparedness that we all try to contribute to making sure we're on top of things, meeting our deadlines.
Mhm. I definitely agree with that. And then just also making that's why we do this feedback too, is because then we can see what other people think about our part of our work. And it's great to have a lot of eyes to look at this work and give their experience or their knowledge. And that's the greatness about being a part of a group, is putting everything together, all the minds together instead of just one.
Yeah, and being able to like bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's helpful when we type it out, because sometimes we might feel that we don't get to say what we want, like in the video, which we've talked about. So being able to like have concrete typed out thoughts.
So probably the biggest thing is just having communication between all of us.
Yeah.
Another thing that I said is, it sounds weird I say out loud, but actually knowing what the assignment is.
Yeah.
Understanding the
assignment. That was actually one of the things I put in there too, just having the knowledge of what you're actually doing, and to be able to use that knowledge to get your work done. So like staying on top of like readings that you might have to do for this project, or research articles.
Reaching out to professor.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good one.
Yeah, to make sure that we're doing things right, because this project was definitely tricky trying to navigate through. So it was very helpful asking our professor the questions and her getting back to us so quickly. All right. Anything else? Anything else to add?
Sorry, we have to walk away for a second because I feel like I'm going to get sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we're following it. All right. So the last one that we're doing is the top left. And this says that these are behaviors and actions that someone else could see us do if you're acting in accordance with the value you named in the lower right column. So this is based off of the values then that we highlighted. So what do those look like? So let's start off with the one Kelly has: open to all ideas, compromise, being open. So I think like we might have to take out the listening to everyone, and maybe that would be our behavior, to make sure that we're giving everybody a turn. So we're listening.
I think.
Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry, Caitlin. You want me to put that in the right
So
side?
the bottom left where it says listening to everyone under Kelly's.
Yeah, take that out. And put it.
Take that out and put it in the top left. So, because that would be the behavior that follows that value. Any other things?
I know it's always like weird when you say not doing something isn't a behavior, but like
Right.
not being defensive. I don't know the positive way to say that.
Being open, understanding.
Understand.
Yeah, being understanding or being accepting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Idea.
Accepting the person and their idea.
For the lighthearted one, I said that venting to each other and then laughing it off. I think we do a good job of that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and then how about being transparent? What does that mean to be transparent?
So I think that's just honest communication.
Yeah, so giving honest communication.
You know, saying when you're having difficulty with something and like, you know, accepting that you might need help with something and asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Like that accepting help. It's always
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that.
I think like with
I do have one more with the lightheartedness. I was thinking maybe just our encouragement, because we always give each other compliments and encourage each other. And I think that's really helpful for all of us to keep going with this project. Positive. Yeah.
yeah.
Good like being able to have that balance of the constructive feedback and positive feedback, which as supervisors and trainers, that's what we need to do.
And then I also like in our group messages, we're more relaxed and sending memes. That really helps with our bond, I think.
Yeah, that goes with the lightheartedness for sure, and us bonding together so we can work as a team better.
Can I write that?
I
Good way to
mean,
put
yeah.
it.
That's how we encourage each other to make it through this and not be so stressed out. All right, so is there anything else we can think of for any of these sections?
I
I
like
don't think so. I
that part.
think
I think it's good.
I feel like we have a lot of detail to all this, so it does look good. And I like that everybody gave their own feedback to it.
Me too. On this part, the lower right, am I supposed to get rid of everyone else's and just the yellows, or kind of keep it? So
I would leave it, and I like